You can't make freedom out of oppression. Something that's been in the news hasn't made anybody pay much attention to it. Is this United States has invaded Bangladesh. Mr. P is here wanting attention, but I thought I had something to say here. Okay. You can't make freedom out of oppression. It doesn't work that way. And we decided, that we wanted this little, it's called St. Martin's Island. Down at the south end of the little bunch of islands below Bangladesh, south of Bangladesh. It's out in this kind of delta area where there's a river that comes through Bangladesh. So here's this one of the poorest countries on earth, and where we've overthrown their government just so that we can have this little island, so that we can put a military base on it and do more containing China and keeping India from being in BRICS and all these kinds of ambitions that the neo-libs have. It's not going to work. You can't murder your way across a continent and create a great nation. You can't you can't declare independence and the rights of man and say that all men are created equal and endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights, except my slaves. This is the garbage in, garbage out of virtue. Note P, the dog is bumping this. You can't do it that way. You have to either be virtuous or be an oppressor. If you're an oppressor, then you're going to have oppression, and you're going to live in a whole society of oppression. You can't create good out of evil. And that's the fundamental problem of America. That's where we said, let's make a batch of cookies. I know, we'll sweeten it with arsenic. And the minute you put the arsenic into that cookie dough, you ruin the whole job. You can't make somebody else a slave so that you can be free. And it's exactly the same thing as capitalism, like it or not. I don't. It doesn't make any difference where you want to fall on the ideology and economy scale. Capitalism contains the seeds of its own destruction, and the reason it does that is that's how it's made. That's what it is. It is oppression. It can't make freedom. It can't create freedom. You cannot say, I'm going to stick somebody else with some crap job and make myself rich, and I'm going to do all this in the cause of freedom. Because at the end, there ain't going to be no freedom ain't coming out the other side of that. It just isn't. And people say, well, what are we going to do? How are we going to fix the United States? It's a whole rework. The whole system's got to go. And because the system is so heavily armed and armored, you can't get rid of it. I mean, I don't know what, maybe the Bolsheviks would have just taken it down. But we're not going to do that. The will for it's just not here. So I don't think there's any way out of this mess that the United States is in besides that this just goes on and the neoliberals keep on doing the stupid things they do, and eventually it all adds up to a gigantic failure and the whole thing comes tumbling down. And then after that, maybe we can try building a free country here.